Hello and welcome to Push to Smart. Today we're doing something a little different.
We were a little hard on Telltale Games' Game of Thrones, in no small part because it's terrible, but we didn't want to be that little black rain cloud hovering over your gaming week. Today we're going to suggest what we hope is a more fun alternative for those of you who, like us, enjoyed Game of Thrones' mirror segments the most. Long Live the Queen by Hanako Games.
In the game, you play as Elodie, a young princess mere months away from her coronation as queen. You must manage Elodie's daily classes to learn everything from queenly etiquette to animal wrangling, and manipulate her mood to ensure her studies progress efficiently. However, this is made far more difficult by a turbulent story of political intrigue and magic. The game lies its framework bare when it informs you whether you have made enough progress in your studies to pass the day's challenges. Victory is sweet, but failures are all the more apparent, encouraging you to try new avenues of study while living with past mistakes. Regret becomes both a motivating factor and fuels a constant sense of dread that seems contrary to the game's colorful aesthetic.
With great power comes not only great responsibility, but a growing target on Elodie's forehead. In addition to learning her queenly role in magical history, Elodie must stay one step ahead of the various assassination attempts, coups, and other possible downfalls that might prevent her from seeing her coronation day. You'll fall often in Long Live the Queen, but Elodie's death feels less like a failure and more like a second chance. The game both encourages and requires multiple playthroughs to try out all of Elodie's possible skills, and tempt all of her possible fates, in order to finally reach coronation day. The disappointing Game of Thrones left us wanting a game of court intrigue, and Long Live the Queen looks like it might be that game. So what did you think?
I actually really loved it.
Me too!
I actually got it during the Humble Bundle, like, Valentine's romance pack or whatever that had the pigeon dating simulator. That was the big draw for me, but I think this might be the star of that pack. As we have talked in length on the episode, I love mirror segments, but I don't ever feel like it goes far enough. And most recently in our Game of Thrones episode, I mentioned the biggest issue I have with the game is how often you fail and you never have a win. And in this game, you fail a lot, but it feels completely different. Because it feels like you are given a second chance, like you know what to do, and it's not just a game over screen. Like, you have that experience, and you know what you're getting yourself into, and you can play things a little bit differently, and hopefully not die the same way.
Yeah, I think that's what's so interesting is the way that it communicates failure, because it is constant, and you will always have that constant sense of dread. The minute you see, like, she'll say something really positive, and you'll see, like, poison challenge failed, it's like, oh, crap.
Exactly.
And it's like, because there's one instance in particular, I remember it said poison challenge failed, dog challenge failed, and I was just like, what do those two things have in common? And then you texted me this morning saying, my dog just saved me from poison chocolates.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting the way it communicates that failure, because in Game of Thrones, failure feels inevitable and like it's
exhausting.
It's exhausting. And when you fail at something, there's a sense that regardless of what you did, your character would fail at it. Whereas here, there's definitely a palpable sense of dread when you see that pop up. But there's also a sense of when I saw dog failed, it was just like, I never did any dog training. What could possibly trigger a dog there? You know, it sparks not only this sense of dread, but this sense of curiosity, wanting to see kind of the possible outcomes and every variant that goes into it. And knowing next time, hey, maybe I'll try training my dog and see if that changes anything.
And there are also a lot of little failures. Like, as soon as you start the game, it almost feels like you can't win these first few roles or challenges. As those little failures build up, they don't like get you down as much, I guess.
It becomes more of a curiosity.
Yeah.
But then they'll really come and bite you later once you die.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I died, it was an assassination. She was shot up by, I think it was poison arrows, while going to a birthday party.
Oh, I did that one, but I had my reflexes and my arrow skills high enough that she, like, dodged.
I didn't. So I had, like, you know, reflex fail, arrow fail, battlefield medications or whatever that one is failed. So it's just like a constant stream. You're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Everyone hits you. But then at the same time, you just jump right back in and try again.
When I played, Elodie was either very depressed or very angry. So in the beginning, she was, you know, learning how to play with falcons and dogs. And then later in the game, she was like warrior princess. getting all the military strategy and getting all of the weapon know-how, but then she ended up getting run through. So, I mean, I don't know what it is about this game, but it's kind of addicting to play.
Yeah, I love it. I've been really enjoying it because it's also one of those games when you first see that screen, because there's a lot of stats to keep track of. So I remember when that first popped up, I was like, oh my god, what did I get myself into?
I was very overwhelmed.
Right, but it becomes very easy to learn and to manage the more you get into it. So it's a very approachable game, I found, too. There was little things, like there's one very early encounter where she receives a necklace from a neighboring lord, and she goes, oh, how nice. And then, like, if you don't have enough, I think it's court manners, it'll pop up, like, that fails. And you're like, oh, I wonder what that means. And then later you realize that in kind of the court parlance means that they're betrothed or connected somehow if she's wearing these gifts given to her by a man. Mm-hmm. And it's just little things like that. It's so well done.
Mm-hmm. I know as soon as that happened, I was like, oh god, it's poison. I feel like everything, whenever something fails, I'm like, oh god, it's poison.
It's poison. Where's my dog?
Yeah, I know. My dog can't save me all the time, I wish. So if you share some of the grievances that we did with Game of Thrones, like how often you fail or...
Tuttle.
There's no tuttle in this game to be seen. Your failure is often rewarded in a fun kind of way, and it's awesome, so you should totally play it. So once you check out the game, please come back here, leave us a little comment, tell us what you think of the game, how it stacks up to Game of Thrones, and do not forget to subscribe to keep up to date on all of the latest episodes and water cooler discussions.
I'm gonna keep on coining. Yeah. I don't know.
Keep on crowning.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, sorry.